Okay, so we're here at the Kipler farm.
Clippers.
Clippers farm. I'm having a hard time with this one. I don't know why. We're here with Kevin and his wife Anna Marie, but we're at their organic farm here. And if you can tell us a little bit about your farm, that would be great.
Okay. We moved here in 2001. So we started, our 2002 was our first season. And we had 5 acres at that point. From there, we just started growing with demand, and we're now farming almost 40 acres.
Wow.
So we grow everything from peaches, apricots, nectarines, plums, ground crops like melon, squash, over 200 varieties of tomatoes, peppers.
200.
239.
Wow. I know Ricardo from the Sassan farm was saying there's 900 varieties of tomatoes. And
Yeah.
apparently in the grocery stores we see 4 or 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, and then we do our own herbs, and we have a greenhouse for early season crops, late season crops. We now have our own drying facility on farm, so we can do our own drying. Plus, we do processing, making jam, jellies, tomato sauce, ketchup, vinegar, you name it. So.
Really? And so do you sell this stuff here at your farm as well, or?
So everything is sold at Vancouver farmers markets.
Okay.
We do sell some stuff locally through different stores. The organic cupboard, I think,
The organic cupboard.
in Kelowna.
Okay.
Whole Foods has bought some stuff from us.
You can
But
do-
mostly everything is sold in Vancouver.
So what if people watching here that live in Coston, Penticton, or anything like that, would they possibly?
They can check out our website.
Okay.
Go to our website, and our contact info is there. And we do sell locally when people contact us. Like there's different CSA groups and buying groups
Yeah.
that we already cater to as well. That will get like 2 cases of canned tomatoes, or the people that just stop by and say, hey, I want 5 pounds of tomatoes, a couple pounds of onions.
Okay.
We just don't have a fruit stand, so
Okay.
it's not like
And your website would be?
clippersorganics.com.
You were telling me something interesting about an apprenticeship you got going on here. If you can explain more to.
Yeah, so we have a full apprenticeship program on the farm now, where people commit to a full season from March to end of October, and they live, eat, breathe farm life. They're involved in all the day-to-day operations of the farm. We do lectures on like tractor training, business planning, marketing, crop rotations, pretty much anything you need to know about farm.
Purchasing a farm or leasing land, how to write up different lease agreements, or how to find land that's out there that's available, which otherwise someone new coming into farming wouldn't particularly be able to locate, kind of thing. So,
Wow. So what's the age groups on the apprentice?
well, and
18
they're
to 35.
18 to 35 kind of
Perfect.
thing.
Perfect.
In the long run, we need people to grow food long term, and
Yeah.
that's our focus, is getting young people to grow food.
Well, I mean, that's a big reason to why I'm pretty much why I started local, supporting locals. Is I grew up in Montreal in a concrete jungle. I know nothing about farming. I mean, I would go to the butcher shops. I mean, we'd still drive out to some farms, but it was nothing. You more and more you get removed from that, and everything's coming from your store. And I didn't realize the true value of the food. And so now I'm going back to basics myself, and I'm learning it all myself. So like Locals is it's a network. We're trying to get farm sharing going, because a lot of the farmers today, I don't know how things are for you guys, but a lot of them are struggling. They cannot afford to hire the farm hands, so they're doing all the work themselves. Land values have gone through the roof, taxes, I mean, and I think BC is probably the worst for provincial for supporting their farmers here, the local small farmers.
Yeah, it's more geared to the big marketing, like dairy, chickens, like egg, chicken layers. It's they get a lot of support. But the small farms, they don't really fit in, right? And most organic farms tend to be in that small category. So if you have a disaster, where do you
Or
go?
a hailstorm or anything like that, and your
You
crop
could,
is
well, you could go get hail insurance.
okay.
But again, being a small farm, it costs us more in hail insurance than what we'd get out of it.
Wow.
And that's just because we do fresh market sales, so we do farmers market sales. So if I bring hail damaged product or a product that isn't perfect to the market, I can explain why and the reasons behind it. And more often than not, the consumer is willing to take a product that is a little bit blemished or a little bit hail damaged or whatever and pay the price for it, because most of our consumers are out there to support sustainable agriculture. And if they're not gonna buy a product that's hail damaged and the whole Okanagan gets hit with hail, then they're gonna be eating apples that are imported, which is against a lot of their philosophies and stuff like that. So it's, for us, we're fortunate that that's where we've decided to go with our marketing and stuff. So
It was last year at the market, and this one woman that I know that does those apple chips, she was selling tomatoes for a friend of hers that has organic tomatoes out of Summerland, and I started looking at them, and I was examining them, and she says, you know what the problem is? She goes, with people is they don't understand organics. People look for perfection with organic, when it should be the opposite. If it's too perfect, don't eat it.
Yeah.
You know, because that's not the way nature works.
We find that with our fruit, like nectarines. Our nectarines are scarred up all the time. But you know what? The flavor beats anything else. We've got customers now that look for the scarred ones.
Oh, really?
Because they're like, those ones are the tastiest.
Really?
Like,
basically what happens is when the tree is growing, marked fruit, basically it gets pierced by a twig on the tree or something like that. Basically it's like a wound, it's like a cut. So all your energy in your body will go to that cut to heal your wound so that it heals faster. And so basically, essentially that's what's happening with a tree fruit, like a fruit that's on the tree, is there's extra energy going to that fruit to heal that scar that it got from bumping into the twig. And so at the end of the day, those are the ones that actually taste really good, but
they all
you go
taste
to
really good,
Yeah.
that's the
but
best.
those are the
Yeah.
ones. Those are the ones that taste even better.
What would you like to say to people about farming? If you got any personal opinions on GMOs or anything like that?
Well, in order for this world, I think, to be sustainable, we need to have more small local farmers, and we need to support them and get more in there. And if that's giving people land that you're not using, let some young farmer use that land and support them. And GMO, that's a whole another topic. Stay away from GMOs.
Well, I know it's funny how many farmers now are really speaking up more about it, because the awareness needs to get out there because of this this technology. I mean, it's devastating to the environment, to us, the people. At the end of the day, it's all about controlling the world food supply.
Yes, and if the government controls the world food supply, then ultimately the government controls the people, and there's no free choice.
Yes. Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, everybody wants to eat, and if you can't grow food because you can't grow a GMO crop, like what happened to Percy.
Percy Smizer, yes, I met
like
with him.
if that ends up happening, then and you can't actually grow your crops anymore, then basically where's the food going to come from? It's going to come from big, huge corporations, and that's not the food that I'm going to choose to eat. And the other thing, I guess, that has come to light recently a lot with consumers and customers that, are thinking about eating local and thinking about eating organically and stuff like that, and they go, well, the price is really high, and it costs more money and stuff. And often what I say to them is, when was the last time you went out to a movie? When was the last time that you went out for dinner? And the majority of the time, it's, they go out for dinner once a week or twice a week, 3 times a week, more often than not. And it's eliminating little things like that. Like, you're okay with going out to a movie and supporting you know, an actor who makes $1 million for that movie, but you don't want to pay $2 for a peach that's going to nutrition in your body. And so it's about, you know, shifting your focuses and shifting what's important to you is important. What's important to you, your social being and your social life, or what is important, or is it what you're putting into your body and how you feel at the end of the day, and knowing that you are part of supporting organic or even local agriculture.
I mean, if you're not prepared to eat what you grow, and this is what's happening in the U.S. now. I've seen some videos on this as well. Is a lot of the conventional farmers down there will not eat what they grow.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know,
I know that's happened here too.
really.
There's conventional farmers that have their own little garden plot in the back, which they don't spray.
But they'll spray the front.
They'll spray their fields for market or whatever. Or chicken farmers.
It's crazy, like
we have friends that are chicken farmers that won't eat the chickens from their barn. They'll raise their own chickens on the side. And but you know what? The massive amounts of population want the cheap food. And so as long as we keep wanting cheap food and, you know, bigger TV,
Yeah.
it's going to drive that type of farming.
Well, that's why this is my big message out there too. Like, the system is broken that we live in. It's not designed to be fixed. We have to start something alongside of it. You know, something that makes sense. You know, and in order to do that, we have to come together and support each other. You know, and protect each other. You know, I mean, it's essentially the corporate takeover of North America, from food to water to you name it.
the next thing that they're working on now is nanotechnology,
Yes, I know.
which is even, I think it might be even worse than GMO.
What is it?
Nanotechnology,
Yeah.
they're taking basically the table of
Contents like all the
elements, they've changed it now and changed so that they take nanoparticles and it's already going into the food system. So they actually take little tiny nanoparticles and put it in.
They take them, blow them up, and so there's nanoparticles of like gold or whatever. It becomes a nanoparticle. So what happens with the nanoparticles? A particle can't cross our bloodstream the way it sits now, but a nanoparticle can, and so potentially it could be deadly to human race. There's like
They're doing it where if you get, I think, a bottle of water, you stick it in your microwave, you plug in 3, 4, 6, 7, that will now make it turn to raspberry.
tastes like raspberry.
Oh.
Or you can plug in a different code and all of a sudden it tastes like strawberry.
And it's happening now. WCB, we get a WorkSafe magazine. I don't know how often, every 3 months. It's in there that's a concern over workers with this new nanotechnology and stuff going to their bloodstream. We get a magazine called Agri Success. It's in there in agriculture, where people in agriculture, these conventional farmers, are saying this is the next best thing. Like this is happening, and it's happening now, and no one knows about it. It's like genetically modified. People don't know about GMO
How
stuff.
long has GMO been around for? It's been around for a long time.
20, 30 years.
Yeah,
I know I've had that argument,
and it's
coincidentally, the rates of cancer have gone up in that same amount of time.
And they won't even label it. You don't even know when you go to the store if it's got genetically modified things in it or not. They won't label it.
Well,
I
that's
think
it.
it's time for people just to make a stand and start
Yes.
standing up for, our rights and we don't want to eat GMO. It should be labeled.
Yeah.
It should be labeled. It should be like they should go the route of Europe and just ban it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's what at the end of the day, like I would like to see that. Alex Adamenko I spoke with. I mean, Heidi Osman from True Food Foundation. I mean, almost everyone I've talked to, I've not heard one person say, that they support GMOs. So, I mean, that's what we need to do at the end of the day. And come together, locals supporting locals, and take back our community. Take care of what you can see. If we all did that, we'd be in a much better place.
Yep.
Keep global local. Thank you very much, you guys, and we'll see you on the farm.
All right.